Here at the shop today, finally, we got some goodies in the mail the other day. Picked them up and finally made it to the shop here. We're gonna get going at it, and I think we're gonna get this puppy rolling. We're gonna get the parts installed today, hopefully, and if everything plays out, a decent audio clip. So let's get to it, guys. Changing it up today. We got a little bit different camera set up. Hopefully this is good enough for you. Surprise, surprise! The goodies. My order from summitracing.com. First, we start off with some Taylor ignition wires. We got a nice quality cooling fan that we're going to be installing hopefully today. This is some Moroso wire covers. It's to help insulate the wire from arcing out on metal by the headers, the heads, wherever you're running it. The wire just simply slides in the inside of it and protects it. And the big one, a real trans cooler instead of the half crap one that I had on it. This one should perform just a little bit better. We got some aluminum header gaskets. The poly mount, the poly transmission mount that I ordered to replace that crap rubber one that I had a couple episodes ago. Wow, it's actually pretty heavy. I like it. We've got one 8AN fitting, 90 degree. It's not the sharp angle that some people run. And then I also have a 6AN fitting for my return line. That way that it has a straight shot down. I don't know if you've seen from the last video, but there's actually a 90 flowing on it outwards. The way I had it ran before, there is a restriction in it, but it's not enough of a restriction to cause any issues for flow. So this way, it just looks more presentable with a straight shot down. And a racer's best friend, 16 spark plugs. What do you say? Let's get to it. So we got going on here is a wire, spark plug wire. And then we have the strip of insulation. So to get the best representation of where you're going to be, here's your connector. That's a spark plug, or that's the HEI style connector. And we're going to put it in like we're doing it. So we're going to put the wire in. Right there is about how far you want to go, and then you're going to take this, the black string there. That is the connective. That is what sends the spark through the whole entire wire. So that actually gets wrapped up back and around. You put it on the back side. You put it on the back side of it, slide it in, then these get crimped down. If you're good enough, you can use just our regular pliers, but usually a lot of guys want to use the spark plug tool. I don't have a spark plug tool, at least with me. So what I'm going to do first then, because I don't have that tool, is I'm going to do this. And then the boot will go down with it. So right here is where I'm cutting. So all this is just a sleeve. So all this is just a sleeve that goes on the wire. It's kind of like heat wrapping your headers, or heat taping your headers. And the best trick is to insert it and twist. The wire to go through. That's the best results that I usually get, is by doing it that way. And then all you do is just put it together, just like I explained earlier. As you can see, I got the new wires put on. They look pretty decent. I'm gonna have to make something, I think, that pops up and holds the wiring up here higher. And then that way it's kind of neater and stays off the headers. What are you guys doing today? It's a little gloomy, as you can see, but there's one thing that's not darkened down. We got this bad boy bright and shining. Well, we're going on day 2 of the project. Well, at least of this part of the project. We're going to be fixing some brake lines. So right here, we're going to probably be replacing this. I put these in here so when the booster actually flexes. So when you press the brake pedal, sometimes you have a tendency to have firewall flex, moves in and out. That's originally why from factory these coils get put in on the cars. So I'm actually going to just get rid of them to go to a sleeker look, as well as this fitting right here leaking. It's probably because I over tightened it and I could have cracked the line inside. Well, the good news is these skinnies, I just push right through them. Anywhere I do a burnout, it just pushes right through the tire because of how large my rear tires are. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the line lock, and then we're going to do brand new lines so that these here are a little bit better. They arc better. They're kind of a mess, as you can see, just like with the copper line for the oil pressure sensor. We're going to straighten that out, make it nice and straight, so it'll come out, it'll straight down, go over, and be all like nice and neat. Keep in mind the wires are going to get cleaned up as well. We're going to just smoothen it out, clean it up, make it look nice. We got some nice straight lines there with the brake lines, replacing what was there. As you can see, we got the new brake lines that go down there, kind of follow through with that copper line for the oil pressure sensor. Now the reason why I'm able to get away with the straight lines is I literally drive this car less than 1,000 miles a year. And for this track record, I am at the point where I have gone through the car heavily once every year. Meaning motor out, front engine, like the whole front clip off, front suspension torn down, literally once every year. So I will see leaks, and being also as well as how many track inspections I see, track inspections I go through for being what's called teched in. That's one of the things they look for. They'll be looking for leaks, aka brake fluid, oil, coolant, power steering fluid if you have it. That's just one of those things that they check over. So it's easy for me to be able to go with this and not have a worry, because it's so often looked at to find if there is a crack line before, or a leak before it's a complete rip. So that's why these lines are very strong. As you can tell, I can move the whole car with those lines. That's those main reasons of putting the coils in. These coils here. That's why you do that. Like I can literally move them pretty easily. That's exactly why they do them. So we're gonna keep going. Now we're gonna bleed the brake system, and I'll do a breakdown on how you do that properly, especially in these older cars. Now the tool I'm using is called the Power Bleeder Model 1105. This here is the plate that sits on top of the master cylinder. Just like that. Now each hole Each one of these holes is where it sits on the opening for the rear
part of the master cylinder is the front part of the master cylinder. So that way it feeds pressure as well as fluid to fill these reservoirs back up. On here is the pressure gauge. I wouldn't go any more than 10 to 15 psi while doing your bleeding process on your car. You don't need to do an excessive amount to be able to get the results desired. So all you do is you take off the cap. All you do is take off the cap. Put all your brake fluid in there. Now I'm using a synthetic .4. It's good for 475 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's good for racing applications in my opinion. The best way is to get the longest line that would have, or potentially have, the most amount of air, fill the fluid first. That way when you're chasing in the other lines, you're bleeding out the little bit of air bubbles that would be in there. Your longest path, like I said, is that way. And then you follow up the driver rear. And then following up by the passenger front, and then the driver front. There's a little petcock on the actual caliper, and that's where you bleed. Right here. This would be the valve that you're going to put your wrench on. You're going to turn it counterclockwise and just crack the bleeder to be able to get the fluid to come out of this. Well, as a little teaser, I gave you guys a little bit of a rundown pulling it in. I think next episode we're going to maybe take it out on the road in the safest ways possible. Sorry I didn't get an upload on Saturday like I had promised you guys. Some things just came up. It wasn't feasible for me to do. So hopefully I'll get this one up for you guys right away as soon as possible. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like the video down below. If you didn't like the video, please let me know how I can improve and what you didn't like about it. Otherwise, please subscribe down below. I think it's over here. Maybe over here. That little red button says subscribe. Click it, and then hit that bell notification right next to it. That way you get notified when I make new videos. But otherwise, that's it for tonight, guys. We'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching. Build it, make it yours. Bye.